from these information you are going to identify a classes and then a relationship among them. Okay, what we are doing now? We are analyzing a class model, how to build a class model, identify a classes from a problem statement and also from an artifacts from some related systems or an expert knowledge or some general knowledge of the real world objects, real world systems. Once you collect all this information, from this information please do identify a classes and their relationship among each other. The steps to be performed to construct a domain class model. Here I have listed out the steps to be performed in order to construct a domain class model. So, please do remember these steps are very important in building a model. So, before building a model you are supposed to analyze the model. So, first you have to find prepare a static structure of a model. Okay. So, in order to construct a domain class model, these are the steps to be performed. Now, we are going to learn each of the steps. First, we are going to identify classes. Once the classes has been identified, you are supposed to prepare a detailed description of those classes. So, once after preparing a detailed description of each of the classes, you have to find out how these classes has been associated among each other, and please do find an attributes of the objects and how do they are linked with each other. Organize and simplify the classes using an inheritance. Verify that the access path exists for likely queries. Iterate and refine the model. Reconsider the level of abstraction. Group classes into object. So, these are the steps to be performed in order to construct a domain class model. Now, we are going to learn these steps in detail along with an ATM case study. First step is finding classes. So, what we are going to do is we are going to learn how to construct a class model along with an ATM case study. Now, we have already prepared a problem statement for an ATM case study. From the problem statement, I am going to identify classes. How to identify classes? So, we have already written in a problem statement. In the classes, you are supposed to find out a noun. Okay. Classes are nothing but nouns. In the problem statement, whatever the description that we have written as a problem statement, from the problem statement you please do identify a noun. Noun are nothing but a classes. Got it? What you have to do is you have to identify a noun from the problem statement. So, nouns are nothing but a classes. For example, a reservation system sell ticket to perform at various theatres. Shall I repeat the problem statement? I am just we are not gone to an ATM case study. Instead, I am just telling you how to identify a classes from a given problem statement. How to identify a classes from a given problem statement. What is the problem statement is? For example, if the problem statement is a reservation system sell tickets to performs at various theatre. In the given problem statement, first we have to identify the noun. Noun are nothing but classes. Here the reservation is a noun, system is a noun, ticket is a noun, performances is a noun and theatre is a noun. And please do remember, all the nouns are not a classes. From a noun you have to capture the concept. Okay. You have to capture the concept. Whatever the noun that you have identified from the problem statement, now you have to refine those noun. Okay, identified noun, whether it is in a concept or not a concept. If it is not a concept, you are going to remove it, otherwise you are going to keep it as a class. The same way we are going to do it now. So, the idea is to capture a concept. Not all nouns are concepts, and concepts are also expressed in other parts of the speech. And please remember, the concepts can also be expressed in other parts of the speech. So, that also you have to identify. Now, from the problem statement, our idea is to capture the concept. In order to capture the concept, what we are following is capturing in a noun, identifying in a noun. So, identify all the nouns and then check whether it is in a concept or not. If it is not a concept, you remove it. And this is not the only way to capture the concepts. There is another part of the speech also. In that way also you can identify the classes. Okay. So, shall we find any classes for our ATM case study? So, how do you find a classes? From a requirement sources, that is nothing but a problem statement, extract the nouns, and now we have a tentative classes and eliminate the spurious noun, that is unrelated, unwanted, which is not at all a concept. Those classes need to be eliminated, and finally you are going to get a class. From a problem statement, extract a noun. Tentatively we are going to consider all the nouns as classes, and then eliminate the spurious classes or spurious nouns, and then finally you are going to get classes. Yes, I told you that. How do you identify classes? From a problem statement, you have to identify a noun. Here we have a problem statement.